Hello, and thanks for taking a moment and sharing with me your time. I appreciate it. I'm reading a book while I'm at work. It's called Saving the Saved by Bryan Loritts. He's the lead pastor at Abundant Life Christian Fellowship in Mountain View, California, and he served at Trinity Grace in New York as co-founder of Fellowship Memphis. This book is beautiful. I urge you to take a moment when you can and just review some of it. I'm going to read a short passage for you real quick. A couple of short passages. Scholars struggle with how to translate the word chaste because there's literally no equivalent. It's a Hebrew word. Chaste is God's unfailing love, unrelenting, unquitting love, to make up a word, he said. Chaste is a love that never gives up, never gives out, never gives in. So there you go. There's the word chaste. Now for the actual passage. Scholars call 2 Samuel chapter 7 the Davidic covenant, a moment when God enters into chest with David, telling him that his throne will be ever established or established forever. God made good on his word by sending his own son, Jesus Christ, who came from the lineage of David. Of the greatness of his government and peace, there will be no end, in Isaiah 9 and 7. But what blows my mind is that God enters into the covenant with David in 2 Samuel 7, and 4 chapters later, David eyes a woman named Bathsheba, knowingly commits adultery with her, and then tries to cover up his mess by having her husband killed. Talk about bed, bath, and beyond. I say this is mind-blowing because God is omniscient or all-knowing. So when God made a covenant with David, he knew that just a little while later, David would put on a terrible performance and break his heart. As the New Testament begins, God offers his people a new covenant. The same chest that bound a holy God to an adulterer is offered to you and me through Jesus Christ. Romans 5:8, which is, by the way, one of my favorite passages of Scripture. Romans 5:8 describes the New Testament equivalent of chest. God demonstrates his own love for us in this: while we were still sinners, Christ died for us. This verse is rich with theological truth, but the one word that brings me to my knees is while. God didn't wait for me to get cleaned up before he loved me. Instead, he saw me as is, loved me as is, and saved me as is. Performance-free, unshakable love. I don't know how blemished your spiritual credit report may be. Chances are, when you glance in the review mirror, you'll see some things you're not proud of. Maybe you've had an abortion. Someone else reading this could be dealing with a divorce caused by your betrayal. Or maybe you're mired in materialism, basing your self-esteem on the latest fashion, all while wondering if you're quote-unquote pretty enough. The good news of the gospel is that God sees you as is. It bears repeating. God demonstrates his own love for us in this: while we were still sinners, Christ died for us. I love this wonderful illustration that Brian gives here. He says, put it this way: imagine I barge into your wedding ceremony just as you're about to exchange vows. I motion to the tech guy in the back to press play. And to your astonishment, on the big screen in front of the scores of people who have gathered for your beautiful day, I show your betrothed, and the whole church, all the awful things you have done, are doing, and will ever do to break his or her heart. He's devastated at the tears. He's devastated as the tears begin to cascade down his face. But to our amazement, he still marries you and wants to marry you. So he grabs your hands, gazes into your eyes, and says, I do. That's chest. That's Romans 5:8. That's performance-free love. That's the kind of love the one who made us offers. And it's from the chapter Soul Songs. Man, this Bryan Loritts is on to something. I'm going to continue reading. Occasionally I'll drop in and either read or just kind of chat with you. Feel free to comment, post, like, say whatever that's wholesome that will add to the to the video clip. Hey, thank you for your time, guys, and have a wonderful, wonderful day.